Okay, everybody. Hope you're doing all right. Josh Wagner here. Just going to let everybody get in and get settled. I see people are coming in. That's great. So here I am. Hey, wearing my blue shirt. I have like 3 or 4 of these, and 2 of them are blue. And I think they look the same on the camera. Everybody, while we're waiting on people to come in, check in. Tell me where you're coming from. We're going to be doing some great stuff tonight. We're going to be doing a lot of discussion about anxiety, about what causes it, and I'm going to give you a great solution for what actually helps it, what actually allows it to, something you can do to resolve it really, really quickly, and to get yourself into a much better position than you were before. So again, just everybody check in as you're coming into the chat room right now. I'll check in myself. Hi there, Renee. You're from Florida. That's great. Super. And please let me know if anybody's having any technical issues or anything. I don't know what I can do for you, but I certainly can. Certainly can do my best. Certainly can do my best. Galena, Ohio. All right. Great. Excellent. And I hope that you all can see me okay. Gina, close to New Orleans. That's right. Okay, great. Jeffrey from Illinois. It's great. Great to see all of you here. So it's... Oh, well, it's not an actual living room. It's a fake background. So this is not... I wish I lived in something this swanky, but no, I'm actually in a spare bedroom. It's my office, but it also doubles as a spare bedroom. Dog's doing okay. Benji was groomed today, so he's a little out of it because I give him a little trazodone before I take him in. Gets a little anxiety himself. I generally don't advocate too much for drugs, but when it comes to my dog, yeah. Westerville, all right, it's great. Everybody's checking in. That's wonderful. So I did this a few months ago. This is something I think I should do about every few months or so. But I did it back in May, and this is really something near and dear to my heart. So I know that for myself, just my own personal story, which I've shared with some of you guys before. Has anybody in here ever dealt with some severe anxiety before? You can put yes in the chat. And there's a little tiny bit of a delay. Hi, Ashley. How you doing? Anybody in here deal with some anxiety, crippling anxiety? New Mexico? That's awesome. Look at that. We got people from all over the place. Texas? All right. All right. That's really great. Oh, we got people from all over the place. This is fantastic. Fantastic. Yes, you're getting some yeses on that. Yeah. So I'll tell you my story very, very briefly. So anxiety and depression run in my family. I had bad panic attacks. Yeah. Okay. So I've had some pretty serious stuff happen in my family. In the generations. And that's been passed down. My dad used to pass out. I had panic attacks a couple times a day. I've had cousins that all had difficulties on my dad's side. So it's something on my dad's mom's side of the family that I call it the Weber gene. Hi Jennifer, how you doing? And so when I was growing up, it was actually migraine headaches. And then when I turned about 24, 25, it turned into panic attacks once a day. And they kind of started off slow, and then they went once or twice a month to once or twice a week to once or twice to once a day for years. And that started in 2004. And I had a major life change in 2018, and I got the added bonus of getting an extra panic attack at 4 a.m. So my panic attacks were set off at particular times of day, but the other things could set them off. It was almost like my whole body was like waiting for these moments to kind of release the energy that was going on in there. So yeah, people have anxiety for years. And we're going to talk about some of the physiological things. I did everything. I did talk therapy. The longest stint I did was 5 years in group talk therapy. I'm a big fan of group therapy, but I did 5 years of talk therapy. I had Lexapro and Zoloft. So I have anxiety as a trauma response. Okay. Well, so all of our triggers are different. We're going to talk about why that is here in a second. None of that stuff worked for me. Meditation didn't work for me. I did all sorts of things. I did tapping. That was actually something that calmed myself down. If you know what tapping is, you tap on the pressure points on your face and stuff. That really did, that kind of calmed me down for a little bit, but didn't solve the problem. Only when I had my hypnotherapy session. I say it's one session. I have not had a panic attack, a severe panic attack. I've had anxiety. Everybody gets anxiety. We'll talk about that. I haven't had a severe panic attack, a paralyzing panic attack in almost 5 years. Since my hypnotherapy session, I can't remember after that ever having one. Again, that's different from anxiety. I used to have panic attacks, but my anxiety levels are pretty far down too. I mean, I've been through some pretty big things, and so some people have been. It can be hereditary. It can be hereditary. I think it's both nature and nurture. I think that you can have traumatic events happen that causes anxiety. We're going to talk about that, and then I do think that there are some genetic predispositions as well. The science is still out on that. I don't have any science to back that up. I can just tell you that it's all over my family, whether that is because the nurture goes through my family that way or because the nature goes through my family that way in genetics. Hard to tell, but I will say that it's in my dad's side of the family, particularly the Weber side of the family, which is my grandmother's side of the family. So my last name is Wagner, obviously. So we're going to talk about a little bit of that tonight, and I'm going to give you some really great stuff. So the first thing I want to tell you is I've been developing this kind of thing over the years. This is how we actually use our brains. So we have a new experience, and you see that one on the left over there. I can actually have my little cursor. We have a new experience, and that creates a belief in ourselves. Deep down, we're not talking about something that's conscious. That belief then filters all of our future experiences, which then reinforces our beliefs, which then filters our experiences, which then reinforces our beliefs, which filters our experiences. This is not hypnosis. Well, the reason hypnosis works is because this is just how brains work. Is when we have an experience, it creates a set of beliefs. And if we have a traumatic experience, or traumatic experiences go through our families, or any of those things that happen. And again, is it hereditary? Is it genetic? I don't know. But my dad experienced anxiety from his mother. My grandmother experienced anxiety from her father, who had a very tragic end. And, that experience was passed down through my family. So what happens is that every time we do this, every time we go around this loop, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And so if we've had a traumatic experience, if we've had an experience that caused anxiety, if we've had an experience that, or a set of experiences that just reinforce this loop, sometimes we have new experiences that just reinforce this. But of course, sometimes we have experiences and we just see it the same way because of the filter of our beliefs. So we call this the experience and belief circle, that these are where the triggers actually get set up for us. This is where the triggers actually get it set up for us. And listen, traumatic experiences don't have to happen when you're a kid. They can happen when you're a teenager. They can happen when you're a young adult. They can happen when you're an adult. When you have an experience that changes you so radically, deeply. Has anybody had an experience like that? Let me know in the chat. Has anybody had an experience, whether it's as children or maybe you experienced it through your parents? Maybe you saw your parents have anxiety attacks and you inherited those anxiety attacks. Again, I'm not saying it's genetic or not. I think that the jury's still out on that. But maybe you had that experience where you took on somebody's, or you experienced somebody's anxiety vicariously and you took it on yourself, or you had a bad experience. So we filter everything through those filters now. And so things become triggers. And I want you to think about it kind of like a smoke detector as a little too powerful. A smoke detector that's a little too sensitive. You know what I'm saying? And so I just want you to think about it in that particular way, is that we have experiences that tune our sensibilities, tune our filters, tunes our beliefs, and none of these things are conscious. So sometimes we get this debilitating anxiety because we don't know why. So frankly, that's the thing, is we don't know why we get some of these triggers. Sometimes we do. So understand the types of anxiety, such as generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety, and panic attacks. What are your triggers? What kind of anxiety do you think you have? Now, you don't have to put that into so somebody said their mother had anxiety. Yeah. So sometimes we get anxiety and our anxiety filters get turned up because we saw somebody else get it. So who knows? My dad had anxiety when I was a kid. Maybe I saw him get anxiety and I inherited it that way. I don't know exactly how it works. Also, traumatic experiences do that kind of thing. So what kind of anxiety do you have? So you need to know this in order to figure out exactly where you're going to go next. And anybody that's share with, if you're willing to share what the types of different symptoms you've had, but rapid heartbeat, sweating, shaking. I get, I used to get, I would get like just paralyzed. I couldn't move. And that's because it's the fight or flight response going into overdrive. Okay. The fight or flight response going into overdrive. So anxiety doesn't just affect the body. It takes a toll on one's mental health and well-being. And that often leads to chronic worry, dread, and overthinking. So overthinking is a form of anxiety. Does anybody have any of these things? Chronic worry, dread, or overthinking? You can put yes. You can put the word in there if you want, or you can just say yes. I think that's plenty if you want to do that. If you have any of these kind of things that are going on here. Because those are all anxiety responses. And what happens is that when those filters are established, that I'm going to go back to that slide there because this slide is actually super important. This one right here. This is what happens to us, and what we have to what we have to do is we have to worry and overthinking. Yeah. What else? Ruminating thoughts. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So, Stacy, it sounds like you've been going through a lot here, is what it sounds like to me. Maybe we need to talk about that one-on-one, Stacy. Stomach. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So you guys, we definitely have some candidates in here. For all this kind of stuff. So let's talk about a couple of tools for this. And I'm going to give you a big tool. I'm going to teach you something. I'm kind of running towards something here. Then we're going to do a little light hypnosis at the end of this. I reserve most of my deeper work hypnosis for people that are in my Wednesday night 8:30 Eastern group. We do a lot of great work with that. Some of you are here right now, and but we'll do a little light hypnosis before the end of the night. So there's lots of different ways. Cognitive behavior therapy, which if you ask me is a form of hypnosis. Medication, which, if you're on medication for this stuff, stay on your medication for this stuff. But I will say this. I will say that medication should be a crutch and not a permanent solution. But some people, it's a permanent solution. While you're on medication, you should be doing everything you can to, with the help of your doctor, do all the internal work to get off your medication if that's possible. Now, some people can't get off of that because they need antipsychotics or there's some physiological problem with their brain. But if you're on antidepressants, it is possible to get off of them. And I've seen it. I've done it myself. I haven't had an antidepressant in 5 years, and I hated them. Some of you guys mentioned that you didn't like them anyway. So take your medication, but do all the work that you can while you're doing the medication to get off of the medication. And of course, hypnosis. We're going to talk about that here in a second. We're going to talk about hypnosis here in a second, but there's not a one-size-fits-all solution. I don't actually agree with that. I think hypnosis actually is a one-size-fits-all solution. It really changed my life. One hypnotherapy session changed the entire course of my life, and it is absolutely possible to do that. And then finally, hypnotherapy, here it is. Here, I did have a slide for it, can be a powerful tool for anxiety management by unlocking the potential of this unconscious mind and building resilience. So how does that work? Let's go to that really quickly here. Okay. I'm going to go back to my favorite slide here. I've been working on this slide for years at this point, and I have some influences. James Tripp is an influence of mine. He's another hypnotist. But I want you to see this slide again, because we're going to go over here. When we're in this loop, that we have an experience that creates a belief that filters our experience, that reinforces the belief that filters our experience, etc., etc. What we need is this right here. We need a new experience that goes completely against the old experience. Let me say that again. We need a new experience that goes against the old experience. And my definition of hypnosis is having an experience so deep, so profound, so real to your brain that it actually believes that it's actually happening. So this is how hypnotherapy can actually work. Never ever stop your meds. I totally say, unless your doctor tells you to, okay? That's the only time you can do it, is when your doctor tells you to do it. But what we can do in hypnotherapy is give you a brand new experience that's so real to your brain that it actually changes your physiology. It changes your brain wiring. It changes your way of seeing. Your whole filter begins to change. When I did my hypnotherapy session 5 years ago, it changed how I saw everything. Let me give you, for instance, if you're a smoker, I don't do a lot of smoking, but unless it's attached to anxiety and trauma. If you're a smoker, and that's how you see yourself as I'm a smoker, then all of a sudden you have an experience, a life-altering experience, let's say hypnosis. And all of a sudden you see yourself as a non-smoker. Not smoking is easy. So what hypnosis can do is it can change the very filter by which you see things, and it can change the triggers. It can depotentiate, take away the power of the triggers that actually got you to where you are. And it changes the way you perceive things. It changes the way you believe in things. It changes the way you believe in yourself. It changes the way your body handles things. Hypnosis is very, very powerful. Now, I'm not speaking from any... How many of you would love to have that experience where you could just switch your anxiety off? Have an hour or 2 hour session, or however long it takes, and the result of that is that all of your anxiety is gone. Or at least most of it, the unreasonable part of your anxiety is gone. How many of you would love to have that very experience happen to you right now? Because it is possible. I'm living proof of that possibility. And then my next question is this: what would you do? This is a better question. How many, of course, yes, of course, Kathy would love to have that. What would you do? When that anxiety is gone permanently, yes, forever off, what would you do differently than you're doing now? What would you do that you haven't been doing? I know what I did. I started my own business. I left a job. I learned how to be a hypnotherapist. I work at home. I get to be with my dogs all day. I get to be with my Jennifer all day. I get to be with the other dogs. It's fantastic. I eat out of my refrigerator every day. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. And it's all because my anxiety, I could never have done that a few years ago. I would have totally been paralyzed by that whole thing. But tell me what you would do. What would you do? What's your dream? If your anxiety was, if you were reasonably fearless, now you have to have a little bit of anxiety. Anxiety is a natural thing. It's there to tell you, hey, pay attention to something. But if you didn't have that paralyzing anxiety anymore, what would you do? What would you do? Celebrate you overcame it. Go to Walmart. I know that Walmart, actually, Molly. So, yeah, see friends more. Yes. Oh, my gosh. There's so much that you guys would do. So much that you would all do. Absolutely amazing. I know you'd sleep better, not feel so exhausted all the time. That's right. Well, we're working on that. We're working on that. And I more confidence. So many more things that you would do. Be around people more often. That's right. Yeah. It would change everything, wouldn't it? Now, I can't do that tonight. I can't solve that problem for you tonight. And we'll talk about how we're going to do that here, because I've helped a lot of people do that. Some people it takes 1 or 2 sessions. Some people it takes a couple months. It just depends on the person, right? But I'm going to teach you how. This is another diagram that I have. So it takes that experience. So it takes that first diagram, and we kind of zoom in on that one dot that says experience. So we have input that creates thoughts. That input can be visual, can be auditory, can be kinesthetic, which means feeling. It can be something, an imaginary input that you have in your head that creates thoughts. Thoughts create emotions. Emotions create sensations. And sensations are another type of input. So this is how your brain works. And when we get into that anxiety loop, it loops around like this. We have an anxious thought, or we get an input that's a trigger. We get the anxious thoughts. We get anxious emotions. We feel the anxiety. We feel the fear. We feel it in our body, and then that reinforces the anxiety. This is the deadly loop. How many of you can relate to this? That when the anxiety starts, it ramps up. When the anxiety starts, it goes around and around and around and around in kind of a loop. Live a life of peace, somebody, by the way, said. Denise said, if when all that gets done. So glad to see all of you here tonight, by the way. I'm just looking at the attendance thing, and of course, maybe you're watching the replay, which is just fine. So let's go over here. Let's look at this right now. I'm going to teach you how to stop this, because this is how you do it. Is you have to interrupt the pattern. Yes, spiraling. That's right. People are getting this. That's right. And what you need to do is you need to stop the pattern. And you can stop the pattern anywhere in the cycle. You can stop the pattern after the input. You can stop the pattern after the thoughts have already started. You can stop it after the emotions are already going. You can stop it after the sensations. The most important thing that you need to do is you need to stop. You need to, I don't know what that extra input is up there for. I think that was left over. You need to stop and interrupt the pattern. I'm going to teach you how to do that right now. This is something really, really valuable. Now, this is not going to solve your anxiety problems. This is a stopgap measure. This is a Band-Aid. You need to do the work. Some of you need to come see me, frankly, and we're going to do that work together. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to stop, and I want you to direct your thoughts. So the first thing we're going to do, let's go back here for just a second. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to interrupt the pattern somewhere. And the way that you do that, the very simplest way that you interrupt the pattern, the very simplest way that you make this happen is to say the word stop. Say the word stop. 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 Tell the anxiety, talk to the anxiety like it's a person, and you want to say stop. Thank you, Stephanie. I think it's a cool diagram as well. It's really it's kind of a smaller part of that first diagram. You want to say the word stop. That's the first thing you want to do. Then you want to go to your thoughts, and you want to just pick 3 emotion words. They can be the same 3 emotion words. This is called the anxiety stopper, by the way. I came up with it. That is based in a deck of cards called the Mind-Bending Cards by, gosh, I can't think of what the guy's name is. He's like a Dutch hypnotist that I met. And I can't think of his name right now, or I give him credit, but they're called the Mind-Bending deck. I'm his friend on Facebook, too, and I can't think of his name right now. So this is kind of loosely based on that deck of cards. Here, I have the deck. I always keep the deck of cards right beside me. I'll show them to you. So last year when I went to Hypnothoughts, which is the hypnosis convention, I got this deck of cards. And I would sit here. Sometimes I'd sit here with clients, and they can't see the cards because they're underneath the camera. And I would go through them like, gosh, this is like tedious and terrible and hard. I wish there was some way that we could do this faster. So I came up with this. So what you want to do is you want to pick 3 emotion words. They can be the same. So you say the word stop. That's the first thing. You want to pick 3 emotion words. They can be the same 3 emotion words. I want to feel calm. Take your time with this. I want to feel happy. I want to feel focused. You don't have to feel those things right there. You want to choose. You want to think about those things. I want to feel calm. I want to feel calm. I want to feel calm. Stop. I want to feel calm. I want to feel calm. I want to feel calm. I want to feel. You can do anything. It doesn't matter how many if they're the same word or different words. You want to be careful. You don't want to say things like "I don't want to feel bad." You want to keep your words positive because your unconscious mind doesn't hear negations. Okay. Then you want to pick 3 whys. So the first thing you want to do is say the word stop. That's the easiest way to stop the pattern. Stop, stop. Just say it, stop. I want to feel good right now. I want to feel calm right now. I want to feel tranquil right now. Whatever those words that come to your mind are. And then you want to do 3 whys. So why do I want to feel calm? So I can be nicer to my husband or wife. Why do I want to feel happy right now? Because I want to enjoy the movie I'm in right now or whatever. Why do you want to feel tranquil? Because my body feels better. You want to do, well, why are we doing this? So why are we saying the 3 whys? Well, why is a reinforcer. Anything that you ask why of will be amplified. If you ask, why am I feeling anxiety right now? The anxiety will be amplified. If you say instead, why do I want to feel calm right now? The calmness will be amplified. Now I'm going to bring this all together. It's really, really simple. It's really, really simple what happens here at the end. And then you repeat it. That's it. It's 3 steps, friends. You stop. You stop the thoughts. You stop the emotions. You can stop them anywhere. Anywhere that you realize that you're in that cycle. And you say to yourself, calmly and slowly, I want to feel good. I want to feel calm. I want to feel happy. You can even do just the same thing. I want to feel, and you want to slow it down. You want to slow it down. Even repetition is fine. And then you want to do 3 whys. I want to feel calm so that I can enjoy my meal. I want to feel tranquil so I can sleep at night. I want to feel at ease because I can enjoy company with my kids and my dog more. Stop. How do I want to feel? Why do I want to feel that way? Stop. It's 3 parts, everybody. There's just 3 steps. And then you repeat those steps over and over and over. After about 5 to 10 minutes, it depends on who you are. Everybody's a little bit different. After about 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to start to feel differently. Why does it take that amount of time? Because the body, so there's 2 reasons. There's 2 reasons. One is that the signal takes time to get down. There's 3 reasons, actually. One is that cycle of thoughts. We have about a 90-second cycle of thoughts. So our thoughts go around and around about 90-second cycles. So you need to do this process for about 2 to 3 minutes. When you do this for about 2 to 3 minutes, then you can't get back to that old way of thinking. It's over, right? So that's the first thing you got to do. So that takes about 2 minutes right there. Second thing is there's messages going from your brain to your body. Okay, I want to feel calm. Feel calm. It's going down there. Feel calm now. Feel calm. And the third thing is that your body is filled with chemicals, okay? Your body is filled with chemicals like dopamine and norepinephrine and adrenaline and cortisol. And it takes a few minutes, depending on who you are, it takes a few minutes for those chemicals to subside and those chemicals to go away. So you got to give it a little bit of time. The longer you go through this cycle, the longer you go through, I'm going to show you all the steps again. The quicker you go, the longer you do this, so you want to take your time. Stop. How do I want to feel? Why do I want to feel that way? Repeat. Stop. How do I want to feel? Why do I want to feel this way? Stop. How do I want to feel? Why do I want to feel this way? You just keep going around that loop. So what you're doing, this is a form of self-hypnosis by which you can actually change your cycle here. You can change your experience. And when you change your experience, all of a sudden, I'm going to go back to my favorite diagram here. All of a sudden, this whole experience changes. So those other diagrams were just really just focusing on this particular part right here. And when you do that, when you have a new experience, all of a sudden this old loop, this old anxiety loop begins to stop. Now, again, this is a stopgap measure. This is not going to cure your anxiety. You need to do the work for that. And I'm going to send everybody. I'll send everybody in the email after we're done here. This is the slide and how to do it. So let's go over this one more time and ask me any questions. Then we're going to do just a little bit of hypnosis tonight to feel better. This works, everybody. I use it myself. Now, here's the beautiful part. It doesn't just work for anxiety. It works for any emotion you don't want to feel right now. Right? You want to do these 3 things. Stop. How do I want to feel instead? Why do I want to feel that way? This is actually a different diagram if you can't tell. This is actually a little different diagram. Stop. How do I want to feel? Why do I want to feel that way? So it's really, really easy. Let's just look down that left-hand side right there. Identify the feeling. I'm feeling anxious right now. Stop the pattern. Say the word stop. There's lots of other ways to stop the pattern. Get up, move around, breathe deeply. Getting up, moving around is really good one, but just say the word stop. Say the word stop to the anxiety. How do you want to feel? 3 emotion words. I want to feel good, calm, focused, peaceful, tranquil, serene. Why do you want to feel that way? So I can work better, so I can feel better. It doesn't really matter what you put here. The whys just focus your mind. This is why it's a form of self-hypnosis. And then repeat this for at least 90 seconds. So I got 7 to 10 minutes. I said 5, but 5 to 10 minutes, anywhere in there, for the chemicals in your body to change and for you to start feeling better. Yeah, I will send this to you, Stacy. I'll send this to everybody. I'll put it into the group, and this is going to be in the group as well, in the free Recover from Trauma and Anxiety group. This presentation is actually going there right now. And once you get really good at it, all you have to do is remember the word stop. That's how all of this begins. Stop. I'm feeling anxious. Stop. Just stop. I want to feel better right now. I want to feel better right now because when I feel better, I do better work. And I feel better in my body. And then you got to be patient. You got to be really patient with your body. Again, your body takes a few minutes to catch up with your brain. When I do hypnosis with people, they often go into hypnosis here, and then the body, you can see the body following them a little bit later. And it's actually pretty neat. And this is what I call the anxiety stopper. And I use it all the time. It's not just for anxiety, it's for any emotion you don't want to feel. And the reason you want to do this stop, you want to keep doing the stop, is because every time you start and stop an emotion, it actually makes it stronger. So when you keep, you can just repeat yourself. Don't worry about repeating yourself. That doesn't make any difference, because that will make you feel better, is to repeat yourself. So I'll talk about that here in a second. Stacy, that's my last slide. So yeah, this is my free group here, Stacy, and then I have a paid group as well, and that's a flat fee. You pay once and you never pay again, and with that you get 4 private sessions with me, and you get a lifetime membership in the group. It's a much different group than this one. We talk. We do conversational talk therapy or conversational hypnosis for the first half hour of the group. It's 8:30 on Wednesdays Eastern time, so 7:30 Central, 6:30 Mountain, 5:30 Pacific. And then we do a half an hour of intensive direct hypnosis at the end of every session. So it's an hour session. We do conversational hypnosis in the group for a half an hour, and then that's the full blown. There's newsletters I put out for that group. There's slides I do every week for that group. That group can text me anytime they want. And those of you who are in the group, if you're willing to say, when somebody texts me, I usually get back really fast. There's only a very, very rare occasion that I don't get back. I didn't get back to somebody the other night because I was outside and I had my phone inside the house. But otherwise, most times I get back to you within a few minutes. I'm pretty fast about that. And even when you're done, I'd say most people are finding relief in that group in about 3 months, maybe 3 to 4, depending on the person. Especially with the intensive, it's privatized to you because of the intensive sessions, the private intensive sessions, and then there's the group intensive work. Yes. Oh, hi, Sophia. Yeah. If you are, so I'm going to give you. So this is what I'm going to do. If you are interested. I'm super available, especially to the people in that group. If you are in that 8:30 group, you can call me, text me. I will be there for you. I am dedicated to that, and I don't like to talk about money, so I do like a flat rate that I'm going to be rebroadcasting that, so I'm not going to say what that is right now, but I do a flat rate for that, and then you never pay it again. The only time that people pay after the flat rate is if they want more than the 4 sessions. Then it's $50 or $75 or something like that. So it's really good. So here's what I'm going to do. Stacy, if you're interested, this is what I'd like to do. I'm going to I'm going to let you book a private session. So the first thing that you're going to do is a phone call. There's the link right there. I'm going to put the link also in, I'll put it in the chat. Can I put things in the chat? Oh, I can. What I would do if you are interested in this, it is really amazing. And like I said, it is a lifetime membership. As long as I'm doing this, let me see here. So the first step is to book is a 15-minute phone call with me. And then what we do is I do a free session with you. And then from that free session, we determine whether or not you're a fit for the group. I only let one person, right now I'm only letting one person in a week So I'm very choosy about who goes into the group, very cautious about who goes into the group. If it's not a fit, then we do we can do some private sessions, and I have a price point for that, and then I have a price point for the group. So Stacy, so this is what you want to do, and anybody else that is watching this right now, go to inspiringhypnosis.com/chat. I believe that is still the right. I've been playing around with that lately, but it might be something else. It might be intro. In fact, let's do intro. I know that it says one thing in there, but I think chat will get you there as well. Yeah, it will right now. And if that changes, of course, that link right there will get you right there. So Stacy, this is what I would recommend that you do, or anybody else. It's a 15-minute phone call for us to have just a chat, just to see how we do together. Then if we do well, we do a free full hour session together. And at the end of that session, if you feel like you might be a good fit, and I feel like you may be a good fit for the group, then we talk about that. And if not, we figure something else out to do for you. So I have members of that group in here right now. So I appreciate you guys coming, because I know we have, as I'm broadcasting this, we have our meeting in 25 minutes. And I'm looking forward to it, because I got some great stuff for tonight. But I would invite you all to, anybody who wants to do that. I used to do free full sessions, but I had so many people like book sessions and not show up, so I do a 15-minute phone call first. I mean, that's honestly why I do it. It was suggested to me, like, if somebody skips out on a 15-minute call, that's not losing an hour of your time. So Stacy, that's what I'd recommend that you do, is if you are interested. Like I said, I don't have the slide. I should have a slide for this, but when you join that group, it's a pretty darn good deal, because you pay once and then you never pay again, unless you do more than the 4 sessions you get with the thing. Yeah. So does anybody have any questions or anything about how to stop anxiety, about anxiety? I know we covered a lot of things in very short time. I'm very, very, very grateful for those of you who are here, especially the members of the 8:30 group, of the full paid group. And so, this is my free offering to the world here, is this particular session. But that paid group is, those of you who are in the paid group, I won't call you out, but if you are willing to say how great that, I think the group is really humming along very nicely. It's a great group of people. I love working with everybody, both in the free group and the paid group. But that 8:30 paid group is just, it's phenomenal. It's really nice. So I will leave you with that. Yeah. So there's about 3 people in here from the 8:30 group. But you guys are welcome. I'll redo that offer here. And most of you are in the Facebook group, so I'm not going to have to do that. But there's the thing to make that appointment with me. And again, the first call is a 15-minute call, and then we figure it out from there. Does anybody have any questions or comments? We'll do just a little bit of, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So let's do just a little bit of relaxation before we quit. And then you guys can make, those of you who are not in the 8:30 group, can go make an appointment with me for the next couple of days. And then those of you who are in the 8:30 group, I will see you shortly. And if you're watching this on recording, then you don't need any of this stuff. All right, everybody. So let's just do just a little bit of relaxation, and then I'll let you all go. So just find yourself, whether you're lying down or you're seated, just focus your attention. Just find something to focus on right now. I'd just like you to stare at that spot, either on the wall or on the computer screen. Just breathe. Just notice your breathing. You don't have to think. Just let go of any thoughts, any judgments, any evaluations. Just breathe. And when you're ready to relax all the way down, and only when you're ready to relax all the way down, close your eyes. When you close your eyes, feel a wave of relaxation going through your entire body. When you feel like relaxing all the way down, just close your eyes. Let go of the cares of the day. I learned this from somebody a few months ago when I went to Hypnothoughts, which is the hypnosis convention. I want you just to imagine that you're standing outside in nature. It's a beautiful blue sky. It's a beautiful spring day, or maybe whatever day you like. It could be winter if you like winter. The sky is blue and the sun is bright and friendly. And you're standing out in the middle of a field. I want you to pull a deflated balloon out of your pocket. Black. It's a black deflated balloon. Hasn't been blown up yet. What I want you to do is I want you to imagine putting that balloon up to your lips, starting to inflate the balloon with your breath. Let's just do this one time. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, imagine you're inflating that balloon. You see it getting bigger. Again, breathe in. And inflate that imaginary balloon. You see it getting bigger. It's getting bigger. It's still not full. It's black as night, though. Just keep breathing and keep inflating. And every time you exhale, what you're exhaling into that black, dark balloon is all of your anxiety, all of your worry, all of your cares, all of your worries, anything that disturbs you, perturbs you, upsets you, all of your anger. Breathe in. Inflate the balloon. See it getting bigger. Breathe in. Inflate that balloon. All of the negative thoughts and feelings. And as that balloon gets bigger, you can feel a release of tension in your body. Just keep doing that until the balloon is so big that it feels like it's going to carry you away. At that moment, I want you to tie the end of the balloon. Imagine you're tying the end of the balloon so that it's all shut. And all your anger and anxiety and worries and fears, all of it is just gone. And that balloon wants to float away. And you're going to let it. In just a moment, you're going to let it. You're still holding on to some of that stuff. And it's really big. And you can feel the tight walls of the balloon. The rubber of the balloon is tight because it's so full. I'm going to count from backwards from 3 to 1. And when I do, I want you to imagine letting go of that balloon and watching it float away. In 3, 2, 1, release. Just watch it getting higher and higher, farther and farther away. All that stuff that's in it, all the anger and worry and anxiety, fear. I want you to imagine that balloon as you watch it getting smaller and smaller, flying right toward the sun. You lose it in the sun. It's almost like it just gets burned up completely in the sun. Just wonder what it would be like when that happens. What differences do you feel in your body right now? Differences do you feel in your body right now? When you realize that you have released something, when you realize you have let go of something, only when you realize that something is shifted, can you open your eyes and come back and tell me how you're feeling? That's right. Just come back and tell me how you're feeling. More relaxed. That's right. Fall asleep. Well, you can't fall asleep yet. You got more work to do. More relaxed. That's right. I just imagine all that stuff burning up in the atmosphere. That's right. I feel good, light and grateful. That's so good. For those of you who would like a free session with me, I'm gonna put the thing into the chat again. Again, there's a bit of a delay between what you see and what I see. There's about a 20-second delay. But you'll see it go into the chat there. You probably already saw it. I would love for you to... Hi, Lorraine. I'll text you the other link. That is, I'll put that, I'll also put that back here. You guys can book that session at your leisure. That's right. Well, good. I hope you all have a great night, or whenever you're watching this. Maybe you're watching the recorded version. That's fine. And I will put the anxiety stopper slide into the group, and you can download it. You can make a poster out of it if you like. And I will see all of you very, very soon.